G'day boys, welcome back to another Escape From Tarkov video. Today we're looking at main game, the best settings for visibility and FPS, especially with the new snow update. I'm not going to go into extreme detail so you guys can get back into gaming. Let's get straight into it. The first tab here under game, always shown, monochrome, everything, auto, in raid only, so you don't accidentally use stims in your hideout. Hotkey, disabled, enabled, and then favorites. Zone upgrades, it helps you identify things in raid that you might need for your hideout. So if you're playing for many hours, this essentially clears the memory buildup on your PC. So what you're wanting to do is turn it on, save, sit in the game, let it do its thing, give it a few minutes, and then you go back into settings and then turn it off. It's used as a RAM cleaner tool. In my opinion, it's best kept off, but you feel free to turn it on and off if you're playing for a long amount of time. Just clears off the memory. Only use physical cores. If you turn this on, it uses a single thread of your CPU, so there's not much of a performance difference with this that I've seen I did a bit of research, so I think just keep it unticked, to be honest. FOV, it's completely personal preference. RN70, anywhere between like 65-70 is a pretty good range. Head bombing, 0.2. Malfunction notifications on, the rest unticked. We'll go into graphics now. And the graphics, you should just be using your native screen resolution. Screen mode, I personally use borderless as I am a streamer and I tab in and out of the game quite often. If you're feeling that you're locked in and you always play full screen, then that'll give you the best FPS, but I find myself tabbing in and out, especially checking tasks and things. I'm sure you will do. Run borderless. Aspect ratio, personal preference really, run 1610. It's completely up to you. The monitor you're wanting to use. VSync, have that off. For texture quality, you have a low-end PC, run low. If you have anywhere from a mid to high-end, run medium. For maps like streets, if you have that turned on, this will essentially just reduce this down to low from medium, and if you're running it on high, it will reduce it from high to medium. If you have this one down here turned on, I'd recommend it 100%. Shadows quality, I'd run this at low. It really is not necessary. It helps you see things better, in my opinion. Object LOD quality, run that at 2.5. Overall visibility, this just shows how far you can see things like buildings. Can sometimes not render in if you have it at 400. So in my opinion, 1500 is a nice sweet spot. It's definitely just personal preference of what you want to see render in on your screen. Clouds quality, run this on high. This is not shown to have any performance change. Anti-aliasing, TAA high. If you're having performance issues, turn it off. But I personally run TAA high. NVIDIA DLSS and the two AMD FSRs have these all turned off. These are upscalers. Feel free to play around with these, but in my opinion, I don't bother with them. Resampling, 1x off. Keep this off, just don't play with this, just keep it off. HBAO, I run this on max performance. SSR, run this on low. This is reflections. Anisotropic filtering on. NVIDIA reflex, low latency off. Sharpness 0.7. Lobby FPS 60. Game FPS 144. All of the bottom boxes unticked other than Streets of Tarkov. Lower texture resolution mode. Keep this turned on. Again, like I said earlier, it essentially just turns down your texture quality one lockdown from what you have it set to. I'd recommend this 100% as Streets is very unoptimized. Now we're going to POSTFX. This is the best POSTFX settings in my opinion. Feel free to just stop the video and screenshot them. As you guys can see here, let me just get back into game. Main reason I have these POSTFX settings is for dark corners. So for example, Big Red, we all know Big Red. It can be very dark in the corners. As you guys see, when I enter Big Red, it's like clear as day. You can see all the way through to the back between the shelving. If I run through here, you can see the back corner easily behind the forklift, same as this right corner here. In my opinion, these are really good POSTFX settings for seeing in dark rooms, especially maps like Factory, especially going inside buildings like Big Red. It's very important you're able to see behind the dark shadows, so feel free to stop the video and screenshot these POSTFX settings, guys. And under the sound settings, this is what I have it set to, nothing too special. And under controls, we have, I'll just show it as follows. I'm just going to point out the key things that I've changed. Everything else is default pretty much. Is sprint, have this on continuous. The next thing here, shoulder transition, have that on one of your mouse buttons. I run mouse 3. Coming down, mount weapon, I use V and left alt. Under aim, I have this set to continuous. When your gun jams mid gunfight, this is a little hack to use, guys. So check chamber fix malfunction, set this to L and release. And then coming down to inspect current weapon, have this also set to L but have it on press. So what happens is when you press L, it begins to inspect the weapon, and then when you release L, it fixes the malfunction. Very important keybind I use. Switch between sights, have this set to T. Change scope, magnification, have this to mouse 4, your other mouse button, as I find myself toggling this back and forth quite often in a gunfight. Toggle tactical devices, have this set to V. Discard, I have this set to Z. Drop backpack, I have this set to J. Mouse sensitivity, I have 0.21. Aiming 0.12. This allows when I'm aiming down sights to be lower, easy to control at range. And when I'm running around and spinning, doing 360s, I want this a bit higher so it's easier for maneuver my character around. 0.3, double click timeout. Scope, zoom, adjustment sensitivity on 1. Untick these two here. We don't want to be flipping the axis. My DPI I use is 1600. I don't have any phrases bound. If you're wanting my NVIDIA control panel settings as well, just desktop color settings. This is what I have it set to here. Play around with it. As I say, everyone's monitor is different. Play with this. Use different settings. Feel free to change the brightness adjuster, the contrast adjuster, the gamma, and the digital vibrance. Don't touch the hue. It's very easy to do when you're in game. Alright boys, I really appreciate you lads watching the video today. I hope you'll have a blessed rest of your day. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any Escape from Tarkov videos in the future. Boys, have a blessed one. Cheers.